OpenAI is not open.
The worst decision.
Worst decision?
Do you have some latest sharp opinion about the AI?
In 10 years from now, training data won't be important.
Are you a fan of scaling law?
Yes.
Are you still the optimist?
I think we will solve those. I don't know how. The more important question is not like who are we, but who do we want to become?
My name is, you can call me Jessica.
Jessica.
Jessica, yeah, it's a good to remember. Right?
Okay.
The name of my company is Jazzyear.
Okay.
Jazzyear. And it's Gartner of China. So we write a lot of articles about artificial intelligence and the industrial supply chain and some of the products business. And we want to be a good think tank and a bridge between the technological world and the traditional industrial world. So I think you could understand quickly what I'm doing by writing a lot of articles and reports or some speeches, lectures to all the decision makers of the CEOs in China and sometimes in America or some other countries. So I've been to America for a lot of times and I have read your book.
Okay.
Yes, my favorite one is 科技想要什么? What do technology want?
Right.
It's my favorite one.
Right.
But I've already know you recently wrote The Next 1,000 Days.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. You know, there is a small line in the text at the top of your official website page. Over the long term, the future is decided by optimists. To the recent series of advances in AI and the wave of rapid iteration, as well as the 100-year human identity crisis you mentioned earlier, make you worried?
In general, I'm not worried too much. There are some things I would say I am concerned about, but I believe that we will solve those problems. There's two kinds of problems. The problems that we have, we know how to solve, like climate change. It's a problem, but we know what to do. There are other kind of problems, like in AI, where we don't know how to solve this. And so there are a lot of questions that we don't know, but I believe we will solve.
Okay.
And so questions like the weaponization. Should we have a robo-soldier? Should we have AI be able to kill? That's a really hard thing to decide.
Yeah.
So those are the kinds of things that I'm concerned about, the weaponization of AI. I think I'm also concerned about whether AI is open or closed, whether it's public or just owned by corporations. I think it should be public.
Okay. You think it should be public?
Public in the sense of open source, open.
Open source.
So that's another concern.
Okay. Are you still the optimist?
Yes, I'm very, very optimistic. I think we will solve those. I don't know how, but I believe we will solve them. And I don't think they're impossible to solve. So I'm very optimistic. I think there are some things that people worry about that I don't worry about.
Okay.
Like unemployment. I'm not worried about that. Also, I'm not worried about they're going to kill us. The AIs are not going to kill us. I'm not worried about that either.
You know, you have a lot of fans all over the world, and I think you have some, great scientist friends. And are they agree with you, or some of them agree with you or disagree with you?
I think that's interesting right now. There's a big disagreement. There's two camps about the AI, super AI. So there are a lot of really good scientists who are worried. There's a lot of good scientists who are not worried. So it's interesting. I'm in the camp that is not worried about that.
Okay. So I have a specific question. So far, what do you think are the best and worst decisions OpenAI has made?
Yeah. So I think OpenAI should have made their models open.
Okay.
They didn't.
Okay.
OpenAI is not open.
Yes, I know.
So I think they should have made it open. That was
the worst decision.
Decision. I think another worst decision was firing Sam. The best decision, I think, is their choices to keep speeding, making it faster, to innovate faster and faster, to rehiring Sam and then committing to not be so careful and really try and go fast. I think that's really the best decision.
Okay. So I know I've read a lot of your books, and I think you are a philosopher in technology. Mm-hmm. And has your philosophy of technology, I mean, in the overview, iterated or changed in the recent wave of AI?
That's a good question. I don't think my philosophy about technology has changed. I think, if anything, I would say it has confirmed my philosophy.
Okay.
And so I don't see anything. I haven't seen anything that made me change my mind about the development, the theory, my theory of technology. So I have a theory of technology, and that theory is that it's like evolution. And nothing I've seen in AI has changed my theory of technology.
The news come and go, and the attitudes towards AI in the whole world, I think people change their minds a lot, especially something towards the AI 2.0 or something towards AGI or something towards the LLMs. I'm curious that how much time have you devoted to tracking cutting-edge AI progress recently?
Yeah, it's my full time.
Full time?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's all I do is just to read the AI papers.
Whose paper do you like best?
Well, as I said, every day there's a new paper, a new article.
Every hour maybe.
with some discovery about LLM. Just last week was an article from Anthropic.
Yeah, Anthropic.
On being able to illuminate the weights and try and nudge. And it was this idea that they're a black box. We don't know how they think. And they're saying, well, actually, we could see into them a little bit. Yeah. That was a very interesting paper or article.
Cool. So are you a fan of scaling law? Scaling law?
Yes. There is some. So to explain to the audience, the scaling law is in part saying that there is a mathematical proportion between how big the model gets,
yes,
and the loss factor, and how close it can become to maximizing the results. And so far, it seems like the scaling law works, right? So when they add the training size, the performance gets better. What we don't know is whether that is indefinite. Can that continue forever? Does it plateau? So far, I think the evidence suggests that it will plateau, that it's not infinite.
Okay.
But that evidence does not come from the scaling law itself. The scaling law itself is just a hypothesis.
Okay. So I've heard that there is a recent opinion. It's very popular in the AI industry. It's all about data set. It's all about data. No matter what kind of algorithm,
right,
and or some other methods. It's all about data set.
There was a paper, an article about that, saying that the quality of the data had more influence than the algorithms did. And I believe that. I mean, that's very possible. I would predict that we're going to see AI companies advertise their AIs based on the training data. So you will have people say, we didn't train ours on all this stuff. We trained ours only on the best. We trained it on high quality books and other high quality materials. We didn't train it on Reddit. It's like education. It's like if you have a child, it's like, how are you going to educate them? What are you going to have them read? Are you going to have them read Reddit? Are you going to have them read Twitter? Or are you going to have them read the classics?
Yes.
And so there will be some people say, our AIs only read the classics. They read the highest quality books. They read the highest quality scientific journals. They weren't reading Reddit or Twitter or Weibo. They were reading good stuff. They were trained on the best.
Okay.
And there will be some people who will sell their AI on this idea of curating the training data. They have very curated. There was just yesterday, Getty. No, is it Getty? Getty is going to have an AI image generator that was only trained on the Getty library.
Okay, cool. Okay, so you know that you're widely known as your identity as prophet, but you just displayed the words, no predictions on the screen.
Right.
Yeah, but you still mentioned several keywords.
Right.
For the audience, the several keywords slower than it looks, and LLMs tend average.
Right.
And not replacing humans.
Right.
Yes, and new, not substitutions.
Right.
And cloud first, then AI, and must change your work, organizations, and just beginning. Kevin Kelly mentions these 7 keywords, and this prediction should not be complex, I think. Or we should not talk about predictions, but maybe some guess. Can you give us some latest conjecture that you have never mentioned elsewhere? For example, you haven't wrote in your book, or you didn't put it on your lecture. Yeah. Do you have some latest sharp opinion about the AI?
About AI?
It does not have to be the prophet. It only have to be some guess.
That I haven't mentioned anywhere. Generally, if I have an idea, I tell people, that I haven't mentioned anywhere. But let's have a conversation, and then I will try to come up with one. Tell me about AI in China. I don't know very much about AI in China. You obviously are reading papers,
yes,
articles. What would you say is happening in China right now in terms of AI?
I think the similarity between China and the USA is much bigger than people think.
The similarities?
Yes.
Of what's happening?
For example, talents. China does have a lot of talents, young talents here. They are also students, or they do startups, or they just write articles. Yeah, for the young talents in China, I think they are quite similar with the young talents I've met in the USA or some other countries. No difference, because AI is so sharp, so new, and so recent. For example, my major is mathematics. Yeah, I have double major in mathematics and economics. And when we compare AI with math, I think the length of history is not the same. So when I see artificial intelligence, a lot of friends around me, they think that artificial intelligence is too complex to understand. But in my eyes, I think that AI is easy, simple, sometimes obvious, even though there is a lot of black box here in AI. But, the history is only over half a century. So if you want to know the overview, the whole history of artificial intelligence, it is easy. You can just read 1 or 2 or 3 books. That is enough for you to establish an overview of the AI world. So I think the young talents in this dimension, the two countries are similar, quite similar.
In talents,
yeah.
Right.
But China does not have maybe Elon Musk or Sam Altman, the top of the top. But when you look around the young talents, I think the two grounds are quite similar. That's the dimension of talents. And the second dimension is data. I think maybe there is some advantage in here, China.
Who has access to the data? Does the young company, as a startup, will they have access to that data?
I think we are just beginning. Government try to establish the infrastructure for people to get the data they want in a good way.
What does that mean, good way?
The data market data is already written into the China's fundamental policy. Data, capital, labor force, technology, they are called the fundamental.
So you're saying a young entrepreneur will not have any difficulty getting the data?
They can get data as easy as they can get data in other countries. Maybe easier. But I think that there are a lot of problems or challenges they have to face, as difficult as they will make this, in other countries. There are no difference between countries to country, but the biggest challenge, I think, in my eyes, is that, 中文 Chinese is a more difficult language. The LLMs or the NLP, it's hard for them to train some maybe Chinese articles or something like that, because, that's the difference between English and Chinese.
Okay. So here's, I have a prediction.
Okay. You finally have your prediction.
Yeah. My prediction is that in 10 years from now, training data won't be important.
Training data
will not be important.
Okay.
Because right now, all the large language models require scaling huge amounts of data, but there are other kinds of cognition and intelligence that don't. A human toddler can tell the difference between a cat and dog after seeing 12 examples. They don't need 12 million.
Okay.
So I think in 10 years, we'll have abilities of doing reasoning without needing to have millions of examples. And that puts a huge advantage to startups and all, because they don't need to have all that data. So that's my prediction.
So you mentioned two types of creativity, type 1 and type 2, right? You drew a fun picture and said that, AI is good at hill climbing, not hill making.
Right.
So what's the difference?
The kind of creativity that the LLMs, the current varieties of, which are only one variety, is that they operate within the boundaries of what's known. And they're kind of filling in and exploring everything within that space of what we know. They're not inventing whole new territories or ways of thinking, which is what we would call a breakthrough. So breakthroughs basically are making up new territories rather than exploiting or finding solutions within an existing territory. And mostly what they're doing right now is finding answers within what we know, imagining pictures within the boundaries of what we know. That's why it's really hard. You can get a Mid-Journey or DALL-E to make famously to make a astronaut riding a horse, but you can't get it to have a horse riding an astronaut because it's outside of what we know.
Would you try Mid-Journey or something yourself? Try it yourself? Mid-Journey, Pika, Runway? You try it yourself?
Yeah.
You use the computer to do some pictures?
Yeah.
Oh, pretty cool.
Every day.
Every day?
I did for one a day for a year.
Over a year?
Over a year.
So you are now a AI native?
Kind of, halfway. I don't think I have my 1,000 hours yet.
Okay.
You have to have 1,000 hours.
Not sure.
So I have maybe 800 hours.
Okay.
Not 1,000 hours.
And can you give us some insights of your understanding of the surface and essence of human and the surface and essence of artificial intelligence?
Well, that's the thing, is that we don't know what the essence of human is. We don't know. And I think the way we're going to find out is by making AIs. We will make an AI and we will make it creative, and we'll realize, oh, we thought creativity was what made us special, but now we changed our mind because AIs can be creative too. So we're constantly redefining ourselves because of technology and AI. And I think the more important question is not like, who are we, but who do we want to become? What would we like humans to be? That's a more powerful question, because we get to kind of choose that a little bit of deciding what it is. And so I think that's what's exciting about, for me, that's the ultimate excitement about AI, is that it's illuminating who we are as well as inspiring us to who we could become.
Okay.
And like, we don't have a theory of intelligence. We don't have a theory of humans. We don't know. We can't predict where AI is going because we have no theory about AI.
Okay.
We have no theory that says, well, if you do this, theories have predictions. If you do this, then this will happen. If you add all this compute, then you'll get this. We don't have any theory about that.
Okay.
And so, which is unusual. Like in physics, we have theories. If you make a big enough collider, you'll find this particle.
Okay.
We don't have that for intelligence right now. But I think that's what's exciting, is that we are, with AI, co-discovering what it means to be human.
Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
I do like your answers.
Well, I like your questions.